3, 2, 1. Good day, fellow Jersey nerds, and welcome to episode 36 of the Jersey Nerds podcast, powered by HockeyJerseyConcepts.com. I'm your host, Ryan, your Saturday writer, your blog admin, and today on the podcast, we're talking about Carolina's new third jersey, Arizona's new third jersey, the new Quad City Storm, plus all the regular features such as the Mailbag, Faker Authentic, and Throwback Throwdown. And of course, we want to hear your opinion on all the topics we're going to talk about today. So you can get involved by sending us your opinion or just engaging in the conversation on Twitter at HockeyJC, or you can email us anytime, mailbag at HockeyJerseyConcepts.com. Joining us this week, I'm sure you can usually guess our guests by this point, but joining us this week is Monday's writer, Shawn. What's been going on in the past week, Shawn?
Nothing too much. Rocking my 2014 Soldier Field Stadium Series game, Pittsburgh's version, with Sidney Crosby on it, made by Reebok. Missing the event patch. And I will say that actually makes me not want to wear it as much, even though I have the patch literally sitting on my shelf right now. I just need to send it out to get all stitched up.
So I'm kind of not playing the patch game anymore. I'm not going to pay the extra money when my team is in like for instance, if I was interested in the Leafs Stadium Series jersey, I wouldn't be shelling out the extra money for the patch. But as I mentioned to you guys today in the chat, Fanatics is kind of starting to win me over, and I feel a bit of shame. And on the Fanatics Stadium Series jersey, they have the patch on there, and it's not a sublimated patch. It is the real patch on the Fanatics jersey. So they're kind of winning me over, and I feel shame for saying it. Also,
don't listen to Ryan. He's been drinking tonight.
No, Ryan, you know what you got to do? Buy a Fanatics jersey, use a seam ripper, and take the front the Maple Leafs logo off the front. Buy an actual Adidas Indo Authentic, take the logo off of that, and sew it onto the Fanatics logo.
Okay, here's the thing about the Fanatics jerseys. The front crests are heat pressed on.
Oh, so just take a hairdryer to it.
Pretty much. Throw it in the dryer.
Just take some scissors, cut the fabric around it, cut the fabric around the Adidas one, and just sew it on.
Pretty much.
Good as new.
But
if you're too young to use scissors at home, ask for your parents' permission.
The funny thing, the only thing that's seems stitched on the Fanatics jersey is the jock tag on the front, which seems double stitched. Like, it was fairly decent if you put in the effort. You could remove the jock tag off a Reebok jersey. Not on the Fanatics jerseys. That thing is on there, and if you try and remove it, you are going to leave some marks. So also on the podcast today, Friday's writer, TC, what's going on?
Hey, hi diddly ho, neighbor.
Shut up, Flanders. And as you heard, Steve, Sunday's writer, is also on the podcast. What's going on, Steve?
I'm here and glad to be here.
We're here. We're clear. We don't want any more bears.
Well, there's always room for beer.
Oh, you said bears.
Bears?
You said Boo Earns.
Even when it was the immigrants, I knew it was the bears.
Damn immigrants don't even bother to learn themselves the language.
And if you heard the squeaky white picket fence in the back, that's because also on today's episode is Bpoe, our resident fence sitter. What's going on, man?
I am also here doing a podcast. How you doing, Ryan?
I'm doing good. I'm doing very good. New purchase this week that nobody cares about, but I'm still going to share it, is the full zip jacket that I bought today, retailing for somewhere around $100. Scored it for 45. Really happy about that purchase. Toronto Maple Leafs.
And it's only got one blood stain on it.
Oh, are we talking recent purchases? Because I have one too.
No, we are not.
Oh, TC's upset that I got a 1998 Anaheim Ducks white alternate made by Nike, so the proper one.
Wait, you got the one made by Nike, not the starter?
No, Nike. So
where'd you find that one, and how much did you shell out?
eBay and $50.
It's a good deal.
That is a good deal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Screw you.
Spectacular.
Yeah, like I saw this and I thought, I have starter, pro player, Reebok, CCM, Masca. Never get a Masca jersey, guys.
Masca is garbage.
Masca is absolute crap. But granted, they're all really old, so it actually might be worth it, and they go super cheap. Adidas. I don't have a Fanatics, and I refuse to, but I officially have one Nike jersey, because Nike did used to make jerseys for Anaheim, Chicago, and Toronto, maybe a couple more teams.
I was going to say, didn't Toronto make the one with the rounded numbers and the horse collar?
At least in 1997-98. At least a few teams had Nike as their official provider.
Might have been the Rangers, too. I seem to remember, because Gretzky might have had a sponsorship with Nike.
No, Rangers were starter.
Okay. All right.
Philly.
All right. There we go. So,
speaking of the Rangers and recent pickups, I got Brad Richards' New York Rangers t-shirt for $5 off of eBay. And a bunch of basketball jerseys, because I need some sleeveless shirts, and why not make them some sort of sports uniform?
Whoever needs sleeveless shirts? I guess when it's
someone who lives in a place where
sun's out, guns out, right? Right, Bpoe?
Seriously though, NBA jerseys, especially when they're out of date and traded players, they're cheaper than real shirtless shirts. So
they actually are. It's spectacular.
Don't buy shirts. Buy a Ben Wallace Pistons jersey from 15 years ago. It'll cost you just as much.
I think I got like 5 of them. The most that any one of them cost was like $13, and I think one of them was like Derrick Rose, Chicago Bulls. I don't really know many of the other ones and who got traded and who was on the original team still, but
I think I know exactly where you bought those from, and I'm pretty sure I was looking at the same Derrick Rose one.
You probably know exactly where I bought it from, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's still more available.
Oh, absolutely. They've been sitting there they're trying to move shipment. And for those of you following along at home who want to know the name, no, because this is how we get all the cool stuff. We don't share.
You can find it. You can find it. There's people who talk about that place.
I will say, if you want a cheap hockey jersey, Pro Hockey Life in Canada, nice of them to do this. $29.99 Adidas Edge jersey, so Premier, $30 Canadian, so like 10 US. But here's the kicker.
Adidas Edge?
No, Reebok Edge. Yeah. Premier Reebok Edge. And they're all like basic stuff. So if you're really kicking yourself for not getting a Flyers home jersey, sure, go out and do that. But here's the real kicker. The sizes are like few double XLs, 1XL, no larges, a few mediums, but they have every jersey in small. So give a big FU to all you guys who got $30 jerseys because you fit a small.
Yeah,
it's a good place to go and get. You know, it's a good place to go and get cheap jerseys. AliExpress.com.
Oh yeah, we promote purchase of AliExpress. We here at HJC officially promote AliExpress. Not that we took a sponsorship or anything.
Yeah,
in all fairness, they are cheap and they are jerseys.
They are.
I never said they're good, but they're cheap and they're jerseys.
They're jersey-like products.
No, but in all seriousness, don't buy from there.
Yeah, just stay unless you make a concept. And they make your jersey into a legitimate fake jersey or illegitimate fake jersey, then you go buy it. But if they don't...
Let's use your concept, do it.
Yeah. All right, so that's our buys
Give
of
them
the
money
week.
For your idea.
Not that anybody's ever done this.
All right, that's our ramblings for the week. Let's get into a somewhat busy weekend in the jersey world. All right, so this past weekend, depending on when you're listening to this podcast, was the NHL 2018 draft held in Dallas, and I must admit I was expecting to see a few more jerseys or at least a couple logos. We got 2. And they were, decent reveals, lots to talk about. So we're going to start first with the Carolina Hurricanes. They revealed their new alternate jerseys for 2018-19. And it's a black jersey with gray shoulder yokes outlined in red. The collar is all black except for red trim. Inside the collar with the hanger effect is the ghosted warning flags. That's ridiculous, but we'll get to that. The stripes on the arms, thick red stripe, and beneath it is a thinner red stripe, but we're calling it heathered red, which is the first time I've ever heard of that. On the front is a new hurricane warning flag logo, and in the middle, between the two flags, is the outline of North Carolina. Ghosted shoulder logos. The right shoulder is the Hurricanes' primary logo, and the left shoulder is the state of North Carolina flag. So lots to talk about here. Very interesting jersey. Shawn, let's go to what you like and dislike about this jersey.
I don't like anything. I actually cannot think of one thing I like about this jersey. This is horrendous. I'm sorry for the people that like this, and I normally like black jerseys. I appreciate a good black jersey, but there's nothing I can honestly say I like about this. The colors are messed up. The logo is the worst thing. That logo is trash. It doesn't fit a hockey jersey, and it really makes me miss the triangle that the original one flag alternate logo had, because this is too long, too small, and it's proportion improper. On top of that, the inclusion of the white numbers when there's no white on the jersey itself really sticks out. The shoulders stick out without any of that dark gray being added to the striping, which I've seen fixes that do this, and it looks a lot better. The heathering is weird and just makes me miss Team North America. The patches are mediocre at best. I got nothing. And normally I'd be the type of person that's like, it's crap, but I can find some nice things about it. No. This is probably the first, dud jersey Adidas has shown me. This is the first jersey I look at this and I go, what the hell were you thinking?
I would have to agree with you there. It's worse than Nashville's. Worse than Nashville's home jersey. That's what I thought was the worst of the bunch from Adidas last year. And this one is worse than that to me.
It's not even close.
No, it really isn't. I think the only thing, and it's the smallest thing that they succeeded on, was good use of the Adidas collar. Instead of trying to go with a big red collar, they just used that trim. And
that's fine.
That's the only thing I like about this jersey. How about you, TC? Likes and dislikes for this jersey.
I like ideas. Don't like any of the execution. The logo is atrocious. Like they said, like Shawn said previously, and I covered in the initial post about it, it's way too vertically inclined. I like the idea of the North Carolina outline in between the two flags. That's a neat way to give a nod to the state. The gray makes no sense to me. The gray for the yoke, it's just it's present nowhere else on the jersey. Why have it? The ghosted logos for the shoulder patches, I've never liked that. What's the point of having a shoulder patch if it's going to blend in and it's going to blend in to the shoulder? The striping, it's a decent pattern. It kind of bothers me that the hem stripe doesn't match the arm stripe, and the heathered design seems completely unnecessary to me. The red piping around the gray yoke, at first, when we saw the teaser images, we didn't notice the difference between the gray and the black, and it made it just look like a phantom yoke, which is a cardinal sin of jersey design. The hurricane flag ghosted pattern as a hanger effect, love it, but I wish it took more of a forefront position. The collar looks okay. They did a great job with that. And the new helmet logo I actually really like. But that's really the thing that should say the most about this, is that the best part of this entire uniform set is the new word mark on the helmet.
Yeah. Steve, what are you thinking about this jersey?
It was like they built up so much hype, and then it was just, for a second I thought, okay, are they serious? And then I realized I can't believe this. I mean, the logo itself looks like it's from the 90s. It just, I look right at it and I'm thinking Roller Hockey International, Double A minor league team, something along the lines of those, using that specific logo on there. And to be honest, TC, I don't know what's worse is to either have a Phantom yoke on this or to have that gray as it in being so close to the black, because you know when you're going to be far away, that's not enough of a distinction where it's going to end up looking like a Phantom yoke. Also, the heathered look, that's just another thing that confuses me. I mean, I get it. Adidas is trying to do that, but I just don't feel it. And, like, I also have to agree with TC. The best part about it is the logo on the helmet. There's just no really redeeming qualities of any of this, and it was just a giant flop.
Bpoe?
I mean, I have to agree for sure that it's a disappointment because it was so hyped up. But I do have more positive things to say about it than most of you guys do. I mean, for one, kind of like TC said, I do like the ideas behind this, and the execution is what's lacking. And the logo, I don't like it still. It's growing on me a little bit, I have to admit. And it could probably be good with a few refinements. I don't really know what they are. That's not my job right now, unless I make a concept out of this. But it might look okay with a few refinements. And if I had to just add on one more quick thing, I maybe have two ideas for a fix. For one, of course, you have to make the hem stripe consistent in either of these scenarios. For one, maybe add some of that gray down on the cuffs below the striping. Or for two, make the yoke red. At least balance the colors a little bit more than having red and black everywhere, nothing else, and then gray on the yoke for no reason.
If the yokes could have been red, like you said, and then the heathered red, maybe there would have been enough of it that it would have been noticeable, and it would have made the heathered arm stripes and the heathered hem stripe more relevant. But at this point, as all the points we've made, it's just not clicking in any way right now. One thing aside from the jersey that I did like is if you're following Adidas Hockey on Twitter, they had some really cool photos of the jersey. There's nothing special going on. The jersey's just hung up. It's lit really well. It's lit in different ways. And then they're taking a bunch of different angles of it. So you get to see the texture of the jersey and some of the construction pieces of the jersey. And even though the jersey sucks, the photos help it. I don't know if anybody else has any points on the reveal or saw any video of the reveal. I haven't. But if anybody has any points on the reveal or maybe just how it was presented, Shawn, I don't know if you saw anything.
Well, I appreciate the fact that we didn't get what Florida gave us with the 25th anniversary logo, so we don't have to go through and mock their shield. Sort of everything is the roundabout, so everything means everything. But I think the only thing that I have to say, just it goes with the fact that it's similar to the Turd Burger. Their teasing of it made us think there was going to be a good jersey, and then they screwed us over like this. I'm just glad they didn't grab like Teravainen in like the back room and make him throw on the jersey and throw his hands out like they caught him mid-reaction. If you've ever seen the Steve Ott reaction to the Turd Burger when they unveiled it, and he's just going like, "What the hell's this?" We don't have that photo. I think this is going to be the Turd Burger of Adidas.
Oh, it might be a little early to call that. The Turd Burger might have been the worst of all time. So we'll see. We'll see though. TC, Steve, Bpoe. I don't know if you guys saw anything about the reveal. Anything you liked or that caught your eye?
The only thing that and sorry, don't mean to cut anybody off, but I did notice they did state that like in the negative space of in between the two flags, they made a rough shape of the state of North Carolina. And I'm a sucker for negative space use. So, I mean, that's something that's cool. Once again, really understated. Not very prominent there, but other than that. And I was going to say, can I use a sexual innuendo to describe this jersey?
Oh, please do.
Oh, yes.
Anything to make it better.
Yeah, it's kind of like, best way I can describe it is how it was described by my fiance's cousin, is that it's like that guy that talks all that big game, says he's going to do all this and that, and then he lasts 2 seconds. And it's just like you're sitting there wondering what to do now. So
that's actually probably about more literal as you were expecting it to be. It's like we were all hyped up for the reveal.
Yeah, we thought you were going to go real.
And then 2 seconds we're like, oh.
What's better, the 30 seconds of sex or the 45 minutes of crying? I don't know, Carolina. What is better, the 30 seconds of jersey unveiling or the 82 games of meh?
It's not 82 games. It's an alternate jersey. That's the one positive we can take from this.
Oh, yeah.
Alternate, not a home or a road.
Alternate. Last time Carolina had an alternate, I think they wore it for 16 home games or some. Just max it out all the way.
I love that old Carolina jersey has aged well, honestly.
Yeah, I actually like that one. Maybe aside from the black, as you guys know, I'm not huge on the black. But yeah, Ryan, as you mentioned, the Adidas pictures, I had to look that up, and I see one picture here of it kind of hanging over like a road barrier, kind of like concrete slab looking thing. It actually almost looks good here, mainly because most of the yoke is hidden away and hardly noticeable. But it actually almost looks decent here.
Yeah, Adidas did a really nice job with the photos, and that it just goes to show what you can do. And I've seen it firsthand. Like, for instance, this is a little off topic. For instance, if you're selling a jersey on eBay, take the time to do some quality photos because it can earn you a few shekels in the end. Let's go to our ratings.
The presentation of this, like, it shouldn't matter. That's like adding an Instagram filter before posting a picture of your herpes. Like, it's just making something hideous look kind of cute.
Herpes and sepia. What do you think about that, world? All right, let's go to our ratings for this jersey here, and I'm gonna give it. Oh boy, I gotta give it a 3.5 out of 10. This thing is not good. Shawn,
I'll give it a 4 because I think it's actually bad enough that I want it. I'll just be blunt. This is the reason why I called this the turd burger of the Adidas, or at least the first one. I mean, we have a few more teams to go. It's bad enough that I look at this and I think, if I wear this, people will A, notice it, and B, they'll know what it is.
You mean it's black enough that you want it?
Yeah, that too. I look at this and I think to myself, like, I need to see this in person up close and be able to look at it often. In the same way a lot of people look at the turd burger and they look and they just realize that there's 4 different colors of silver on it. I want to look at this and look at the logo and think, who thinks that these are the dimensions of a proper hockey jersey logo?
TC, your rating.
I'm gonna have to go with a 4 as well. I like some of the ideas, but the execution is atrocious, and it's just a dumpster fire of a jersey.
Steve.
3.5. I really do want to give it a 4. I just can't. It's like it's not trying hard enough for that 4. So 3.5.
Bpoe?
I'm gonna be generous and give it a 4.5, but mainly on the virtue of that I think it had some good ideas and just it was going on the right track and just veered off into the wrong direction. But it's a good start and can be salvaged fairly easily to at least maybe a 6 or a 7.
Yeah.
But as of now, about a 4.5.
It can be salvaged, but you know that it's not getting changed. I think one thing is evident from Carolina. They don't really care or have a passion for how their jerseys look. And I think they've shown that. The only positive
that home jersey is the best in the NHL.
Their home jersey is
that red jersey
is the best in the NHL.
Arguably. Of the non-original 6. I'll say that.
Okay. That's a topic.
Saying it's the best, I'm going to say no. Arguably, it's up there. I agree. I love it. I love that.
It's fantastic.
It's good, yeah.
It is.
and you just add the hurricane pattern to the road, that's one of the best sets in the league. And then you come out with this piece of garbage.
But maybe that's their plan. Maybe they wanted an alternate that's garbage that they'll be forced to wear their spectacular home jersey more often.
Oh, so
or just have no alternate and wear your home jersey for every game with no other choice.
No, because Adidas is probably like, hey, Carolina.
Look what we made. It's the equivalency of sticking your child's drawing on the fridge. It's like, yeah, this is great. We're going to put that right on the fridge.
All right, so taking everybody's ratings into account, congratulations, Carolina. Congratulations, Adidas. You've scored an average score of 3.9 out of 10. And you've dropped a giant turd right onto our jersey plates.
Did you just say a 9 out of 10?
Not even close. 3.9. 3.9 Bpoe.
I'm sorry, all I heard was 9.
Oh, jeez. All right.
No in German.
Now we'll move on to a jersey that I think probably is going to have a little more positive response here from you guys. And this is the Arizona Coyotes new alternate jersey. So what we're looking at here is nearly a direct 90s throwback to the original Phoenix Coyotes jersey. The one main difference is going to be the collar. And this is the Adidas style collar. And it's a black collar. In the space where the trim normally would be is the Kachina style pattern. And the rest of it, you know what the Phoenix Coyotes jersey looks like. So let's go with the things you like and the things you don't like. We'll go in reverse order. So Bpoe, lead us off here.
Well, for the Coyotes, recently I have been really thinking that they should go back to this color scheme: black, brick red, and green and sand. And you'll find that out soon. But I absolutely love this color scheme. It's unique to them, and it still fits in with their current branding. And I love this jersey too. It's 90s in the way that it's not too garish, especially with that Kachina pattern, because it almost looks like an actual stripe. So it doesn't just stand out in the way that it's a complete Thor thumb. And that collar too. I absolutely hate the collar on the original Kachina jersey because it's so huge and just sticks out in your face like a Thor thumb. The Reebok version and this version right here, it does it perfectly because it's there, but it's small enough that it's not in your face and just too garish about it.
Anything you didn't like about the jersey?
Well, I'm not a huge fan of the color balance on this one, having red at the bottom and green on the top. It's a little bit off and just seems like it could be balanced a little bit better overall. And that logo, I mean, it's a product of the 90s, and it works fine for a throwback, but if they were to adopt something like this full time, I'd stick the current logo on it for sure. All
right, let's go to Steve. What are your thoughts on this one?
I have already told my fiance that I want one of these. I think most teams should actually take note of this, because this is a very good example from Adidas of taking an old jersey and putting it onto their template. Because, I mean, it's like he said how it was, the Kachina design may be really small within that trim, but it's still there, it's still noticeable. And just the fact that it still looks the same, they were able to keep the yoke. They modified it so the yoke is now at that point like it was, instead of just trying to throw it on or make it like so it's a squared off yoke or a normal yoke. But otherwise, I'm just really surprised how good they actually did with recreating a 90s jersey. And the Phoenix Coyotes design from the 90s itself has always been one of my favorites. So, that being said, I actually agree with Bpoe. I think they should go back to this color scheme because it's a lot more of unique to them. And, I mean, it's kind of, you looked when they went away from it back in, was it 2006, I think?
2003.
2003, I mean, the logo was really nice. It was great. And then they just went to red and sand, and it was nice at the time, but now it was lacking. And It'd be nice to at least see these colors back. Maybe not the full 90s on type thing, but just having these back and maybe the Kachina design a little more prominent than within the neck or within the collar.
All right, TC, what'd you like and dislike about this thing?
I disliked absolutely nothing. I love this jersey. I think, once again, the Coyotes should go to this full-time. I think they made 2 changes overall. One was practical. They eliminated Phoenix from the shoulder patch, and the other was the treatment of the collar, and I think they did a beautiful job. It shows us that if really hard-pressed, Adidas can make a collar that doesn't look atrocious. And I don't know. I really hope that this is one of those situations, sort of like Buffalo a couple years back, where the alternate throwback becomes the main jersey.
Or like Pittsburgh or Edmonton or countless
all
other
those
teams.
fancy, but that was the first one that came.
All right, Shawn, likes, dislikes.
I literally went and put my starter version of that jersey on while you guys were talking about ratings, just because this is one of my favorite jerseys of all time. And one thing that really disappointed me with Reebok was their treatment of the beautiful Kachina collar. And Bpoe, I hate to tell you this, but there was nothing more satisfying than looking at the player photos from NHL 2003 and 2004 and seeing the big, thick – it's the only thing you could see with the players was you see their heads, necks, and the Kachina collar. That's it. So I'm really nostalgic for that. But I think that in retrospect, Adidas has done a good job of sort of maturing this jersey in that the Kachina pattern is there, but it's subtle. It doesn't take up. It actually, in fact, I would argue the black collar does a better job of color balancing. On top of that, it's so much better than the Reebok collar. There was no reason for Reebok to even make a version of this jersey, I think, given that they could have done a CCM with like they did with the Winter Classics up until 2015. But they did, and they put the stupid Reebok collar on. I think, honestly, for me, it gets worse and worse every year. And yeah, Grant, again, I don't need to own this jersey. I own the original. But if you don't, honestly, I'd say get a starter or get this because this is going to be really high quality. And if you like the Adidas fabric in particular, you don't lose with this because, I mean, it's just fantastic. And I don't necessarily dislike Arizona's current set. I do think that if they were to go full-time back to this, I'd feel like it with the Buffa Slug where I'm like, you didn't get the full potential out of one set, but I get it. These things are gorgeous. And, yeah, Steve, you should get one.
All right.
So is that your way of saying this to my fiance?
You know.
I mean, my birthday is almost a little over in a month, so.
Oh, jeez. You're pulling the birthday card?
Steve, you got to listen to the...
My advice on it, honestly, is to get the original, unless you don't like the Kachina collar. Then get this. That's my advice on it. It all depends, and price point, because this will set you back about $45 because they're so common.
Mm-hmm.
Steve, just play this podcast with your fiance and listen to it with her, and as soon as Shawn's about to say, get that jersey, just look at her. Just start staring at her.
And then she's going to hear this part, and she's just going to give me the look.
So you're using the blog against.
You got to stop it right before this part or just mute it for a second.
You just got to. To my executor, Lionel Hutz, I leave $80,000. Do that sort of thing. Dub over it.
All right. So, as for me, what I like about this jersey is the collar. I like that the 2 jerseys that we did get over draft weekend maybe signify that teams are getting a handle on how to handle this Adidas collar, which is to utilize the trim. That's what I think. What I don't like about this jersey is everything else. I do not like this jersey whatsoever. I could care less about the Kachina pattern. I think there's too many colors going on here. I think the logo is a 90s logo that just needs to stay in the 90s. It's not funny. It's not kitschy. It's not cute. It's nothing. It's just a 90s logo. And for me, back in the day when this jersey was coming out, there was black jerseys for black's sake. Right now, it feels like we're getting into this era where it's retro for retro's sake. And I do not understand this one. I don't think it's a fantastic jersey. I think what they use now is better than this. I think what they've used since 2003 is 10 times better than this. And it's not something that I was itching to see. And I was kind of pulling for a completely different Arizona Coyotes alternate jersey. But let's go to the ratings and figure out what everyone else thinks. And Bpoe, we'll start with you.
I'm going to give this one an 8. I like it, but it has some room for improvement.
Okay, Steve?
I'll have to agree with Bpoe on that one. Solid 8.
DC?
I give it a 9. The only reason it doesn't get higher is it's not an original design, but I do think it's fantastic adaptation, and it's one of my favorite jerseys of the Adidas era.
Shawn?
I'll give it a 9 as well. I'm going to come to Ryan's defense and say I agree with him on retro for retro's sake for sure, Philly. And I also agree with him that the old Phoenix jerseys with the current logo with the hem stripe that were just brick and white are probably their most subtly best. And not just because Cujo wore them.
Cujo!
All right.
And Ryan,
yeah.
If you ever say that their current jerseys are better than the Kachina again, something's going to go down.
Oh, well, that's going to happen because their current jerseys are better than
Ryan
both.
doesn't like fun.
No.
Oh, the Leafs have
that
round
random
numbers. That's terrible.
black on the sleeves. How can you say that is better?
I can.
That is black for black's sake.
Yes.
Using the colors within the logo.
Yes.
I like Arizona's current jerseys. This is the problem.
That is exactly using black for no reason.
No, it's
just because.
It's an accent color. It's not part of
but
their
it
accent
works.
scheme. No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. Oh, so you're telling me the jerseys before that were literally 2 stripes and
3 stripes. Thank you very much.
No, there were 2.
There were
5.
3.
There were 5.
Where's
There's the white one.
No,
and
those were
a red.
those
one,
were
a white
classic
one,
looking.
and then a white one.
What the 07 to 15s? Garbage.
How dare you,
the
Jonathan?
15s
You're
were
asking
garbage.
a jersey traditionalist, an admitted jersey traditionalist, to like the Kachina jerseys. I can't even get Ryan to like the rounded numbers, and they almost won the cup in those.
Yeah. So Kachina, this clearly is a debate for a completely different podcast, and just that's going to be a podcast during the summer.
You know what we should do? Just have every team go down to 2 colors. Screw all your third colors, and we all wear the Leafs template. Then Ryan will be happy.
Oh my God, that would be so hot. Oh God.
Because every blue team will look like the Leafs, then Ryan will go on and be like Columbus Blue Jackets, and the New York Rangers, the New York Islanders, and the St. Louis Blues, and the Vancouver Canucks, and the Tampa Bay Lightning are all copying the Leafs, and I don't like it. And, it's just the Tampa Bay Lightning thing all over again. And then Ben will come on and be like, I see where they're coming from.
Picture
but
this.
Then one of the red teams will do it, and Ben will go off, and I'll be sitting here waiting for the team in black to do it.
Picture this, okay? Just going with that train of thought. Columbus takes the Leafs jersey, 2 stripes on the arms, 1 bigger one on the hem. Okay, you got a navy jersey. You make the stripes red. You throw on their primary logo there.
No. That's 3. That's 3 colors, Ryan. We can't be doing that.
No. Because it's red stripes, blue jersey.
Okay, I will allow it. But then what do you do for the white jersey?
Nothing.
I've broken my own rule here. Yeah, I guess they're wearing blue at home, red on the road. All right, so getting back to ratings, I understand I'm gonna upset the apple cart here as far as ratings go. So amongst you guys, the 4 of you guys, this Kachina throwback gets an 8.5. Once you throw my 5 out of 10 in there, it brings the average rating down to 7.8 out of 10.
An asshat.
It's just you guys aren't gonna win this.
So
I had a hard enough
Ryan,
time
Ryan, when you go to hell, you are going to be surrounded by all the jerseys of the 90s, just in a closet with all of them.
Oh my
And the
God.
devil's going to tell you to wear every single one.
Fun sometimes.
It's more that this is just trying so hard to be different. It's like
Okay.
It's like everyone's wearing jeans and you show up in purple track pants. That doesn't make the purple track pants cool.
Okay, but like there's one thing when Pittsburgh and Washington wear their stupid throwbacks and don't come up with anything new. But this is beautiful. This is fun. This is nostalgic for me.
No, it's a hockey community that doesn't get it, that put together a jersey.
If I ever moved to Arizona, I would be their only fan.
Kachina everywhere.
By the way, ladies.
Oh God, no, not again.
All right,
Area
so
writer Shawn, he needs a green card.
Oh, not again.
So that was our discussion there on the Coyotes' new third jersey. Obviously, there's more to dig into on future episodes, and we got a summer with no hockey coming up. So that's definitely on the docket there. But we got to move on to our third topic, and that is the new SPHL team, the Quad City Storm. We got to look at the logo, and we got to look at a jersey. We are not exactly sure if this is the jersey, but it's a jersey. Starting with the logo, it's a storm cloud. I guess it's going to be black. And then you have a basic block font that says Quad City Storm. Storm has a few storm lines on it. And then you have the most fucking clip-arty motherfucking Storm hockey logo right beside that just, it looks like the owner maybe loves to doodle. And he drew it down, and they sublimated it onto this flashy jersey, which is just the exact same pattern as Team North America from the 2016 World Cup. But this jersey is black and sky blue. I did see a couple people tweet out that this was just a jersey for the event, for the logo reveal. There isn't actually a jersey in place yet. So this may not be the actual jersey, but let's go to everyone else's thoughts. Shawn, lead us off.
I have to admit the dumpiness of this logo, the utter crappy, like nothing connects. So they got he's not even holding the stick right. He's riding it like a broom. So the Tornado Cloud is riding his stick like a broom, or, some hockey player that I can't remember the name of. And then there's this clip art storm cloud with electric blue, and then a block font Quad City with a rounded font Storm underneath. And they took the blur tool in Photoshop and got a little crazy with that at the end of the letters to make it look like they're moving, but they don't look like they're moving because they're not italicized enough. But it's a cute effort. Like, it's like you have the Mallards and they're all professional and nicely well done, and then you look at this and it's like, aw, they're trying.
It looks like a logo from 1986 where teams just started having graphics departments. And like if this came out in 86, people would be like, wow, that's neat. You did that on a computer? That's amazing. But it's 2018. It looks like someone put a trash bag logo on a trash bag. This is awful.
I can't look. It looks like something you'd see in a sitcom set in like a dumpy middle America town, where it's just like, here's our crappy local hockey team, and it shows this, and I'm like, I can't hate it. It's like, it literally is so amateur. I look at this and I go, if I grade this normally, I feel bad, like I'm picking on a first grader for their.
TC, what do you think about this thing?
It's such an amateur hour, like Microsoft Paint. It's got sort of the weird moving letters like the old Kings logo, but it's just, as Jet said, it's not italicized enough. It's got a clip art anthropomorphic tornado, and I didn't even notice it until Jets pointed it out. And I started laughing at the fact that the tornado is holding the hockey stick backwards. Like, it's just, It's like he's riding it like a broom, exactly like he said. I would say change the TV numbers because the black on black just isn't going to work. And maybe move the hem stripe up and make it match the arm striping.
So basically, it's just kind of reiterating what everyone else is saying. This logo is really amateur. It's just the graphic motion I get for Storm, but it looks so 90s. I mean, this just logo already looks dated, and they haven't even started playing hockey. And just to top it all off, you can see where there's white parts in it, where it looks like that they just took clip art and tried to erase all the white pixels out. And as for the jersey, I mean, it's not bad. It's not great. I'm really hoping it's a placement jersey instead of this, because just having the 2 blue stripes and then that little bit of hem there, that's really understating, and not in a good way of understatements.
Bpoe, you want to add anything here?
Yeah, you guys got to a lot of what I was going to say, especially Steve last, just right now with the sort of white specks around the edge. I'm really hoping that's more just part of this presentation, like a error on that part, than it's actually part of the logo. The logo looks incredibly dated and clip arty, and one thing that's just really low-key annoying me is that Y, how it's just a straight line and then a thunderbolt. Can't you just make the right side of the Y into the thunderbolt? Is it really that difficult to do that? And just to sum it all up, this logo basically looks like the logo for a youth team in the mid-90s, and a very bad one at that.
Yeah, can't agree more. And jumping in here, because he just had to get his opinion in on the new Quad City team, Phil, Wednesday's writer. Phil, what do you think about this thing?
Well, for starters, the logo basically is something that they came up with last minute because it's like, oh crap, we can't get the rights to the Mallard's name and we need a logo on a team. Here we go. Let's do this. And like all the block lettering and stuff, it just looks so rushed. Not even just amateur. It's rushed, and the tornado thing is weird, especially holding the stick backwards and stuff. As for the jersey itself, it reminds me too much of the Team North America jerseys, which were nice by itself, and they don't look too bad with a black and light blue color scheme. It's a decent color scheme, but like the numbers, the black numbers, the outline of those numbers is not thick enough to have black numbers on the jersey. Like Philadelphia does it right with their new alternate jersey, or new-ish alternate jersey, I should say. But this is just a mess, honestly.
Yeah, and just thinking about it, it very much seems like everything is rushed here. We're talking logo and jersey, and this might not even be the real jersey.
I hope not.
Yeah, I mean, this thing is really, it's really bad. So,
yeah, and the worst part is that shoulder patch. It's like, we should have an alternate logo. Here's the Q, here's the C. Let's mash it together. Boom, done. No,
it serves no purpose. Something to the jersey, and it also doesn't make sense because the QC shoulder logo has a white outline and then the sky blue outline. But then you go down to the numbers right below it, the TV numbers. Yep. Add a little character. So what I was thinking they should have done is you can drag this out. I mean, they're an SPHL team. You need as many eyes on the product as possible. So if you drag this out over the summer, you reveal a date where you're going to reveal a name with a logo, and you do that. And then you come out with the jersey. And then if you do that, you're ready to sell the jerseys. And it just creates this build throughout the entire summer. And I think that's something they could have done. Let's go to our rate.
You unveil it in a span of 2 hours. Yeah. From the time you purchased Microsoft Clip Art Package 12, to the time you recolored it in paint, and to the time you were able to go to a thrift store and pick up a hockey jersey to slap your logo on and put it through the heat press machine.
Well, it's not even that. It looks It's sublimated onto the jersey from the pictures I'm seeing. It's like screen printed.
It's completely sublimated on really dated fabric. Like that's not even hockey jersey fabric. That's just whoever they. There's obviously a reason they thought they needed a jersey, whether or not it was the real one. But this is It's not good. Shawn, what's your rating here out of 10?
For it. So the logo itself, I'm actually going to give it a 5 out of 10. It's passable. I like campy. This is fun. It's the SPHL. You know, they can't all be the Pesicalized Flyers. The jersey is garbage, but they might not wear that, so I can't really rate it. But if it is what they end up,
Salvageable, but I really hope it's not what they actually wear, and that'll average out to a 4.
Steve?
For the logo, I'm going to give a 1 because it kind of looks so rushed that it's just terrible. And honestly, any teacher would just say, get that crap out here and go start over. As for the jersey, I would give it a 4 just because, like TC said, there are some nice elements, but just not many redeeming qualities. So you could round that over to 3.25, 3.5.
For addition purposes, we'll give them a 3. Bpoe, you got your rating?
I'm going to have to give the logo, which isn't very out of the box as well. And the jersey, I'm going to have to give a 3. It's not that great, but it has a little bit more salvageable elements than the logo does. And I'm also just noticing now, too, I'm looking at the D in my head that's better than this. Render it in a vector software in about another 5 minutes that's better than this. It's not going to be good, but it's going to be better. So I already think that's how bad this logo is. It's like the owner of the team got their brothers, cousins, wife, daughters, friends, cousins, so on. They're mentally handicapped horse who took one graphic design class in high school and knows how to use Microsoft Word a little bit to design this logo.
So what's your rating?
Didn't I give the logo a 1 and the jersey a 3?
Okay, so
solid 6 out of 10 from Bpoe, sitting on the fence.
Did I not give the jersey a rating earlier?
well, you didn't. You were about to wrap up. You were about to wrap up your thoughts, and then you went off on the logo tangent, which was fine. That's why we're all here. But you forgot to come back to the original thought and wrap it all up with a 2. So I got you down for a 2.
Okay.
We got there eventually. Phil,
Okay, I thought I gave the rating first. My bad.
Phil, what's your rating for this?
For the logo itself, I'm going to give it a 2, just because it just looks so rushed and unprofessional. And for the jersey itself, as I said, I like the jersey, but there's so much that they can do to improve it. And a lot of it's logo related. The rest of it is numbers related. So I'm going to give that a 4. We'll average it out to a 3.
That's the nicest thing anybody's rated from Brooklyn in a while.
For me personally, the logo's a 1. It's really, really bad. The jersey idea, not so bad, but everything that's attached to it, we're talking TV numbers, logos. I like the color. I like the black and blue scheme. So I'll have to give. It's not. Might not even be the real jersey. I don't even feel like rating the jersey, but overall, I'll throw this thing a 4. I'm just doing some quick addition here. We have, we're about 4.5 average rating amongst us. So that's surprisingly better than what I thought they would do. But Quad City Storm, we're expecting way more from you. So we'll see where that goes.
They got a lot of work to do.
They got a lot of work to do. Coming up next, we got the Throwback Throwdown. This is Throwback Throwdown. This is where we take 2 older jerseys, somewhat older jerseys, and pit them against each other. The writers will give their quick review of each jersey and then pick a winner, and we'll see who comes out on top. And based on one of our earlier topics, we have coming in this week the Phoenix Coyotes jerseys, their complete set from 1996 to 2003, otherwise known as the Kachina jerseys, going up against the Buffalo Sabres jerseys from the same era, 1996 to 2006. These are the goat head jerseys. So we've already talked about what the Phoenix jerseys look like. Let's take a look at what Buffalo has. And, of course, we've mentioned the 90s goat head, I guess you could call it. It has sort of a horns pattern going up the arm just below the shoulder. And then we got some curved stripes, silver, red, and white. The white jersey had black yolks, and the quote-unquote horn pattern was also in black. And this had a really unique font on the back, 3-color numbers, just a very 90s jersey. So, Shawn, we've pretty much talked about the Kachina jerseys, but if anything catches your eye about the original version, here's your chance for a quick review.
I've said my thoughts on the original Kachina jersey. I'm totally nostalgic for it. I own the alternate and the actual Kachina black jersey. So, I mean, I love the friggin' things. As for the goat head, this is one of those jerseys I think that in a vacuum is fantastic, has a lot of good memories for Sabres fans. However, it hasn't aged well. It's very nice in a vintage sense. It's good as a throwback alternate. But I think it wore out its welcome. I think that after 10 years, it really just felt, it felt like it was made in the mid-90s to early 2000s, and that's when it was best, and it was replaced by something better. That being said, I think...
That's debatable.
You know where I stand on the slug. You know where I stand on the slug, and I still wish they were wearing the slug.
It was a beautiful creature that was put out to pasture before its time.
Exactly. Well, the goat head stayed a little too long. And on the other hand, it's a jersey I'd actually like to see back. I think that Buffalo looked good in those colors. And the funny thing about that jersey is that the template itself was used a lot by a lot of CHL and AHL teams, and it really didn't work for a lot of them. Look up the Sherbrooke Casters. If you want to see a team just butcher that template beyond belief, out of your head, it's pretty good.
All right, TC, quick thought on Phoenix and then Buffalo review.
Phoenix, I already talked about how much I love this jersey. There's really not much more to say. It's a fantastic set. I wish Arizona would go back to it. Sabres. Very interesting design. It's the uniform I grew up watching them play in my formative years. And I think it gets a lot of undeserved hate. I think there are a lot worse looking uniforms that people were using as primaries during this time. Edmonton had some awful sets during this time. San Jose, Nashville's original, that 2 or 3 season span where Calgary was using the flaming horse head. I like that they took a chance with this. I like that they were able to sort of incorporate the swooping design of the logo into the striping, and I think it sort of pays off. My main issue with this is the traditional striping on the socks with such radical striping on the jersey.
All right, Steve.
Really, I don't need to touch up on the Arizona. It's just, I really do wish that the Coyotes would go back to that, but that's just beating a dead horse. But as for Buffalo, I mean, I'd have to agree with TC. This gets a lot of undone hate, and I think it has to do with the purists, how they want their beloved royal blue and yellow, and I understand that as a Penguins fan, how we wanted to go back to the yellow, but this was, surprisingly for its time, it was a really nice jersey. I mean, there's a few things that I don't like about it, but it's very creative in using the horns display for the striping on the front of it. The logo itself is unique. It's not something you'd really see anywhere else, maybe except over in England for some other hockey team. And just there's actually quite a few fond memories I have with this. So, I mean, I like the jersey. It's just, unfortunately, this was kind of like the decline of all good primary jerseys for Buffalo.
Ahem.
You know what, Shawn? Fight me.
There we go. HJC charity boxing match between Shawn and Steve over the Buffa Slug. Winner has to wear a Buffa Slug. Loser has to wear a Buffa Slug.
In Buffalo.
In
on
Buffalo.
on the Rainbow Bridge.
Ooh, there's a Tim's out that way.
All right, let's go to Bpoe. Bpoe, quick thought on both Phoenix and Buffalo here.
Yeah, I don't really have much to say about the Coyotes other than what's been said. But I don't like that collar. It's too much on the '90s jerseys, and the only other thing I really got to say is that I don't think there's enough color on the white jersey for my liking, and the red and the green really kind of clash together on the hem, especially on that one for some reason a lot more than on the black one. For the Sabres, I mean, for both of these jerseys, really, I don't really have any nostalgia toward them like a lot of the other guys do here, so I'm not really going to have any of that in my head. These jerseys are okay to me, at least in the modern day. They look they look just like a youth jersey. It really does remind me of a youth team many times that literally uses this template. And how nobody else mentioned this, how the jersey actually creates the shape of a buffalo head in the negative space. It's more noticeable. Did you actually mention
it? Yeah, I mentioned that.
Okay, I completely missed it somehow. I was thinking about something.
Yeah, that's okay.
I thought you just mentioned I thought you guys were just mentioning the horns, not the actual negative space buffalo that it creates. I love that about it, and I love how creative it is. And honestly, for a modern day jersey, I think it could be salvaged just by getting rid of those horns, and it's not even that different from Anaheim's in the way that the side panels work. So it's close to being not even that dated.
Phil, you got a quick review here on Phoenix and then Buffalo?
For Phoenix, it was a great jersey to define a brand new team. It was completely modernistic. It connected very well to the culture of Phoenix, the heritage of Phoenix, and all that kind of stuff. And of course, that Picasso-looking logo was brilliant, just because I like that kind of style of art. Anyway, that being said, it is a little bit dated. It wasn't necessarily the best '90s era jersey of there. I do think that the Sabres one is better because it's a little more tame, but it's those slight details that make that jersey unique. Between the horns around the armpits or whatever, and the side panel striping. And plus, of course, the fact that plenty of great players wore the goat head jersey, like Dougie Gilmour and Mike Pekka. But that aside, I do like that Sabres jersey for sure. And is it better than the one that they have now? Probably just a little bit, only because of the gray detail. Is it better than the Upper Slug? I guarantee you it absolutely is. Shawn, shut up.
It's literally, if you're asking somebody who's like our age to pick between the slug and the goat head, you're literally asking them to pick their favorite child. Because there's so much nostalgia in those logos.
No, it's not. It's picking between your only child and some random kid on the street that doesn't even look remotely like you. Okay?
These two jerseys are like setting someone loose in the dumpster and said, pick your favorite piece of garbage.
Yeah, but Ryan's the jersey traditionalist. Like, right. Ryan looks at
Buff. What I was going to say is that jersey better than what the Sabres originally had? I would not say so. But it was definitely one of the best 90s jerseys of all time.
All right, so that was the whole theme of this Throwback Throwdown was the 90s jerseys, so that's good. I'll jump in here and say I don't care for either of these jerseys. They're 90s. Yeah, shocking. I know.
Yeah, he prefers the Fisherman instead.
Ryan thinks that Buffalo just ended in 1995 and like came back in 2009 when they brought that alternate in.
It is. This jersey is the black sheep of their jersey history.
What's so great about that Buffalo setting? I mean, I get the classic white jersey, but what is it? Like, they're not that good. I'm sorry.
It's a hockey jersey. It is. You know it's a hockey jersey. But right from the get-go.
Okay, but
everything about it says classic hockey jersey.
The reason why it's designed that way is because the original general manager got canned by the Leafs literally a couple days beforehand. So they're like, hey, you know what? I'm going to try and look like the Leafs just to stick it to them when we beat them.
That's true. The original Sabres jersey was based off of the 67 Leafs jersey.
Yep.
So it's okay when the Sabres do it, but when Tampa does it,
So I would, if I was rating both these jerseys low, if I was rating both these jerseys, I'd rate them both low. They're black marks in jersey history. Not god awful, but we're talking like 4 or 5 out of 10 territory here. But I do have to choose.
Are you literally saying that the entire 90s is a black mark?
Most of it, yep.
You know what?
Says the man who owns and wears a Burger King.
That's different. Watch. This is what
That is a black mark jersey.
No, it's not.
It is. It's a black mark in a fun way.
There's literally only one jersey that's a black mark on the NHL's jersey history, and it's the Oilers' original white edge jersey.
It's
the Carolina Current alternate.
It's the New York Islanders' original black alternate.
No.
It's sorry guys, the turd burger that you guys all love.
Turd burger.
We all love the turd. We all love the turd.
All right, so my winner for this throwback throwdown, I'm giving Phoenix a vote. Shawn.
I'm going to give Phoenix a vote as well, but again, this is like picking between ice cream and, ice cream with a little bit of sprinkles on it.
Or ice cream with shit on it, and ice cream with 2 scoops of shit on it.
Rounded numbers, Ryan.
All right, TC, who wins this one?
For me, as much as I tried to make an argument for the Sabres, I got to go with the Kachina. It's one of my favorite identities all time.
Steve, who wins here?
For Buffalo, but the Kachina just hits up the more uniqueness and the more character, so I got to give it to Arizona.
Bpoe?
I've got to go with Phoenix. It's traditional, or I guess it's modern in a almost traditional way, as we mentioned earlier.
Phil, you gonna give
Buffalo? I'm gonna go with Buffalo.
Buffalo. Okay, well, that's one vote for Buffalo, but the other 5.
Yeah, I like being alone.
The other 5
shocker, the New Yorker goes for New York.
Is Buffalo even New York? It's basically Ontario.
It really is worse. Okay. Are we going to get into this whole, where does upstate begin debate because of this now?
This is a big F you to all the Buffalo fans that sit around, and every time Buffalo gives you a decent jersey, you go, but it's not our original jersey. Meh, 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 meh.
What?
Because they're a bunch of pussies.
Wow.
Meow, 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 not royal blue, meow, meow, meow. They're worse than the Calgary fans. We just want the 80s jerseys back. Meow, 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 meow. We want royal blue. Meow, meow, meow. Here's a nice jersey we made for you. We think it's well designed. It doesn't.
Meow, 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 not good enough.
Right.
Boy.
I saw all of form blue, and I think that's a great idea of them wearing form blue.
No.
But LA's given up on that. And you know what? You don't hear LA fans running around going, oh, I remember when Dave Taylor used to wear this, and the team was
great until Gretzky showed up wearing the black and silver.
And they won 2 Stanley Cups in it, go figure.
So Buffalo, you know what, Buffalo? You were closest to a Stanley Cup in black and red, yellow in the Buffa-Slug. So shut up, take your medicine, and you know what? Stupid vintage jerseys that you've literally made me hate for the sole reason that I've had to hear about it for so long as being the only thing you'll accept. You know what? You don't like it, go to the AHL.
Blue, because those are the colors of the team that's actually won anything in Buffalo. The Buttes.
Just do what I mocked up a couple months ago. Take their Winter Classic and stick a Buffa Slug on it.
Oh, but that wasn't even good enough for them because the striping didn't match.
And it had the NY.
And it had the NY in the New York. Buffalo, stop it.
Yeah, because you get no fucking press coverage in Buffalo because no one cares about Buffalo.
Right, Buffalo, yes. The Bills made the playoffs sooner than you, for goodness sake. Come on. Get over yourselves. You're terrible. Your GM is a 22-year-old kid who brings his college friends over from other teams to play with him.
So you got some pent-up emotions there about Buffalo, huh?
Yeah, you know what we're going to do? We're just going to do... Shawn goes off against every fan base in the NHL except Winnipeg, starting with Buffalo, then to Calgary, then to Edmonton, and all the teams that just want vintage jerseys for vintage jersey's sake. I'm sorry, Ryan. What you said before about vintage for vintage sake really stuck with me because you are right.
In that era.
Is it bad if I told you that I really want Buffalo to go back to royal blue?
Yeah, but just don't be one of those guys on a certain sports website who slaps together an Adidas version of a vintage jersey we've all seen 1,000 times before, puts it on a nice template, and everybody goes gaga over it.
Gotta have the template. All right, at this time, we're going to move on to fake or authentic. Fake or authentic is my favorite part of the podcast, and just like all the jerseys you see in NHL arenas, I'll give statements, and you have to determine whether or not they are fake or authentic. Here we go. First statement: the draft is a better place to unveil a new jersey rather than the team's own event later on. Fake or authentic, Shawn?
I'm going to say authentic for home and roads, fake for alternates, because I don't think you should hand out alternates to new draftees because that's what they're going to be wearing for less than a third of the season. So I'd say for alternates, make it an event, but don't just make it its own thing. Tie some other crap into it that we have to watch when we all watch the crappy live streams. But for home and roads, if, again, that 2011, Nashville, LA, they took out the time to unveil their new jerseys there, and it's a better, venue for home and roads.
TC?
Really, Shawn? 2011 is the best idea you got? Not when they got, all of them.
Nah.
But I don't know. I'm torn on this because I think Shawn makes a good point that it makes more sense to give your draft pick a home event. You're going to have to find a live stream online, and you're just not going to get the same kind of exposure that you would get at a draft. So maybe don't do it with your first round pick, but do it with some of your other picks, just because there's going to be more exposure than if you have one standalone event like, hey, here's our jersey.
Any alternate jerseys, because for all you know, that could be a really terrible jersey, and do you really want one of your...
Imagine being drafted by Buffalo and getting seen.
And then you have that picture of Dolan just trying to look serious, but really he looks like he has all that pain inside, and you can just see his soul crushed.
Arms around the G.
That I kind of have to disagree with TC on this, though, about the live streams, that you can get your base if you time it right. Getting your alternate jersey out if you right. I mean, look at what Anaheim did with their last alternate jersey orange one. They literally just had Teemu Selanne tweeted out while he was on his trampoline. Teams where the Penguins just teased and teased. It was kind of obvious. And then finally they revealed it. So I'd say it's very dependent on how the team wants to, but I think overall, if you want to do it at the draft, you're in.
So, fake or authentic?
I'm going to have to say fake.
All right. Bpoe, fake or authentic, the draft is a better place to unveil a new jersey.
If it's an alternate, either definitely don't give an alternate to a draft pick unless you're 90+% likely to, unless you're 90% plus likely to, I literally said this, draft. Maybe, that little kid that they always have go up on the stage with everybody else for some reason? Let them wear it. There's always a little kid on the stage with some sort of jersey. If you're gonna unveil a third jersey at the draft, do it that way. Teemu Selanne, post a picture of it when he's on his trampoline, and you're fine. So, authentic, unveil your home and road jerseys at the draft. Fake on alternates for the most part.
There's the fence sitting.
Same thing as Shawn did.
You got on one side of the fence, and then you hopped over to the other, and then you kept going back and forth. Phil, fake or authentic?
As for someone who has been to numerous draft party at a bowling alley for season ticket holders only, and it was awesome and stuff, but that's no venue to be releasing a new jersey, which they didn't, obviously.
Unless it's a black alternate, then I think that's a little bit fitting.
The Islanders have never unveiled jerseys at draft parties, if I'm not mistaken. But if you're holding it at the Coliseum, then I think that's a perfectly acceptable place to unveil a brand new jersey, as opposed to the draft itself. Because for the draft, unless you're completely redesigning everything, you don't necessarily want to give your draft picks the old jerseys that you're going to throw away in the next, so that everyone knows what's coming.
All right.
So I would say fake.
All right. Good stuff. So this next statement, this should be a quick one here, because this is absolutely ridiculous. Jerseys is Bush League. So this past draft, Montreal, instead of giving out team-issued jerseys, gave out Adidas authentic jerseys, complete with the little tag on. That's Bush League. Fake or authentic, Shawn?
It's authentic. No wonder Tavares doesn't want to play for you. Probably going to give him one of those if he comes to your team. Tavares comes. This is why hockey has no bad blood right now. Is that you're a friggin' joke? Sorry.
Just get Tavares to bring up his Islanders jersey and wrap some tape around the chest stripe. Wrap some tape around it like a chest stripe, and then slap a logo on there.
Well, rumor is on 91 Tavares Leafs jersey with the captain's C on the front. That's the word. That's the word there.
We have Long Island bagels going straight to the office, so I think we win.
So does that mean it's no longer a jersey foul, even if he doesn't sign with Toronto?
Good point.
That's correct. That is not a jersey foul. It's like Brock Lesnar.
He'll just look like a jackass.
Yeah, well, Brock Lesnar has a Winnipeg Jets Heritage Classic. You can get Brock Lesnar on the back of your Winnipeg Jets. Team gave him that.
You can get Lil John on the back of your Vegas Golden Knights jersey, too.
Exactly. if the team issues it.
100% authentic. It's the most rinky-dink thing you could absolutely do. Like, this is someone you're saying, hey, we want to invest millions. I hope you make it up from the minor leagues at some point.
This is the gift shop.
Yeah. Special name on the back for you.
Take it to the pro shop in Montreal with this voucher, and you pay for the jersey, but free heat pressed NHL shop style numbers, so single layer.
Original 6 team would do this.
Montreal, apparently.
Yeah.
Montreal, over 100 years old, just became the laughingstock.
Right behind Ottawa.
Correct myself. They finally admitted and publicly shown that they are the laughingstock because they don't feel confident enough to even give their draft picks actual jerseys. They'd rather feel like, we're going to give you this because we don't think you deserve a real jersey. I mean, I could see it as maybe them saying is like, you have to earn a real jersey, but it does not come off that way at all. It would come off better as if they didn't give him anything and just had him wear a hat and say, you have to earn the jersey. But giving them something that any old Joe Schmo could buy out of their store, that's like a slap in the face, and that's where I'd be calling.
Like he brought out his phone and scanned the tag on his phone to use the Adidas app.
Hey guys, I got drafted by Montreal.
Hey!
For those of you who can't see the video, which is all of you.
Did you scan the tag?
I don't remember.
Maybe this is all just a scam from the NHL. Like it's like, oh, we got to promote the NHL, the behind the scenes app. Pick a Canadian team. Who cares about them? And Bettman had cards, and he's just like, shit.
They said the Adidas Authentics, not the team jerseys. That'll be the excuse.
Oh damn it! You were supposed to give Winnipeg those. We need them back in Atlanta. I mean, Canadians, fine.
All right, so Phil, you going to go with everyone else? Fake or authentic on this one?
Yeah, what's first things first, what Bush is taking Kotkaniemi, however you pronounce his name, Kotkaniemi 3rd overall. That's Bush League, if anything. Never mind the jerseys themselves. But yeah, it is authentic. I mean, it's better than giving him Fanatics jerseys, because... Oh, and I just grabbed that. Thank you.
Oh, we can still hear you.
Okay, yes. My Skype window just crashed out on me for no reason. But yeah, the common fan would see. But for guys like us, it's just like, we know that you're trying to be cheap, okay? Don't make it blatant.
And
I'm going to interject because you guys completely skipped over me, and I just have one quick comment. Completely authentic on this one. At the very least, remember
how many jerseys do you have in your own locker room setup that are blank that you can quickly press on an 18 and nothing else and just give it to them?
Oh, no, even if you did that. I'm saying at the very least, if you have to give them out one of these jerseys, at the very least, at least remove that damn tag.
But how can you access the exclusive behind-the-scenes PK Subban interview where...
Seriously, guys, seriously, does this not show a slight bit of arrogance on Montreal's part?
It shows that they don't have their shit together is what it shows.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is what I think. I think that they're one of the older ones. They think that they can get away with this shit because they have what they think is tradition, but now they're laughing. Yeah.
For instance, John Tavares wouldn't even take a meeting with them, so.
Exactly.
I know.
even meet. Like, how is that? You'll meet with San Jose. That's halfway across. That's the whole way across the country for you.
He met with Dallas.
And you'll meet with them, but you won't meet with Montreal.
Yeah, he doesn't want their shitty jerseys. All right, let's move on to our final fake or authentic statement. And this is I put a lot of thought into this one. A team reunites to win the local beer league championship. The Hawks also reunite as the heel team on the other side. Fake or authentic, you would pay the Mighty Ducks for, Shawn.
Fake.
Ah!
Because I'm not nostalgic for the Mighty Ducks, and we've been over this. I've only seen half of the second one. Look, in the name of Ruslan Saleh, God bless his soul. Damn it. It's just not that good a movie, guys. I'm sorry.
Well,
it's just...
But I'm talking about the Mighty Ducks 4 here. They're reuniting for the Beer League Championship.
Okay. And, yeah, fine.
The Hawks.
That's great.
Adam Banks.
This means nothing to me. I'm sorry. I say it. I had no childhood. I was too busy looking at I was too busy playing with Buffa Slugs to watch the Mighty Ducks.
Shawn, you're breaking hearts.
He was too busy beating off to the Buffa Slug.
All right, TC. TC, would you pay for a movie ticket to see this movie?
This is 100% authentic, and Shawn is an idiot and a coward.
For what?
The Mighty Ducks franchise of cinema.
First of all, it's the Star Wars.
I would love to see the Bass Brothers back in action. See what kind of the special behind the scenes where they actually have to go find the trailer park where both of those guys are living now, and be like, "Hey, we want you for the movie." And then to see Goldberg back in net, thinks he's an asshat, and so he drinks the pain away and joins the beer league and finds out, oh, the Mighty Ducks are back here. He ends up finally slamming Julie the Cat.
And the subplot could be that the championship game is at 11:30 and it's too late because he's a family man. And he just can't make this thing's writing itself. I mean,
that's the movie I want to see.
So you'd rather see this than, I don't know, The Producers, but it's about the Atlanta Thrashers.
I would rather see this Mighty Ducks 4 that we're in the process of creating here than The Last Jedi again. I'll tell you that right now.
Okay, but that's not saying much. I'd rather see friggin' the Star Wars Holiday Special or Slapshot 3 compared to that.
People and pay them nothing, and then this thing's getting made, and we might need a video camera, or I guess we could just use our phones. That would be fine.
We have the video.
We have Emilio Esteban's his first credit in 10 years.
Or we screw up and get Charlie.
He plays Gilbert Arenas. And he plays
Old black.
He's credited as white obscurity, and then like the bottom it just flashes. This actually happened.
Well, this has been the HJC podcast. Thank you for listening.
Wait, Ryan, we need to cut to the tire section.
Only we're desperate for IDs. Everybody saw something. Exactly.
All right.
Anyway,
Steve, would you pay for a movie ticket to see this Academy Award-winning film?
What's the rating? Is it going to be like another kids movie, or is it actually going to be like Goon?
It's Beer League. It's got to be rated R.
Then in essence, yes, I'm going. What the heck do we do this? And then like midway, Emilio Esteban's character comes in. He looks just like his dad from when he was on Wall Street, and it being like, "You guys are a bunch of pussies," and it just, and then like. All of a sudden, like Ryan said, the championship game is like 11:30 at night. And like the third period comes around, everyone's like, I got work in the morning. Dude, they're in like their 30s.
Yeah, their kids
they're
are off
as
to
old
prom.
as Ryan.
Bpoe, would you pay for a movie ticket to see this thing?
I'm going to have a little bit more of a level-headed opinion here than either Shawn or TC, and I'm going to say authentic on it because, for one, a movie ticket isn't that expensive. Let's be real. And for two,
okay,
I
Mr.
think
Moneybags. Jeez.
Yeah, you don't have to pay in Canadian dollars.
Yeah, no, the movie ticket's not the worst part. It's popcorn and soda. That's like 50 times what it should be.
Yes.
So maybe I'm thinking
Both
of the fact that I
size
have the last couple times I've been to the movie that I literally got a ticket and that's it, and I didn't actually get any popcorn.
Oh, you're one of those weird people.
Oh, you haven't gone with a woman, have you?
No,
very
literally
true.
the last 2 times I went was.
Okay, marry her. Like tomorrow.
Yeah, that'll go over well.
You'll have a woman tell you, wait, you're not one of those weirdos who doesn't get anything at the movies, are you? And you're sitting there like, no?
No, I'll be right back.
I got a bucket of popcorn with a hole in the bottom. You do the math, sweetheart.
I don't know. See, the thing is that joke worked, and then 50 Shades of Grey came out, and that's a whole different game. I want the hockey helmet full of popcorn, and you fit it through it's thin, so it fits through the little, like, there's the 3 little things in the drink holder, and it fits through that, and there's a big, long, bendy straw that fits around your hockey helmet that you finish with the popcorn in it, and you slurp away at that through the whole movie.
You're an idiot.
$50 off of nostalgic-driven people who want to see a movie that wasn't great to begin with, remade in the sense of them being older.
You shut your mouth!
Shawn, I want you to take that statement, and every time you say movie, replace it with Buffalo Slug and apply it to yourself.
No!
Dogs fly together.
Buffalo Slugs roam forever.
And when some idiots on a podcast...
Stop.
Quack.
Man.
Quack.
Slugs.
Quack.
Quack.
Quack. Quack.
Quack. Quack. Quack. Quack.
Buffalo Slug.
Oh my god.
Comment down below.
What the hell? Now we're talking about Buffalo Slugs, and we're supposed to be talking about the Mighty Ducks 4. You guys are losing focus here.
Let me finish.
Continue.
All things considered, a movie ticket isn't that expensive. Like, compared to everything else in the world, it's not that expensive. And I think the movie could be okay if well written. Like
the first team they play bought all their jerseys from River City Sports when they had the $20 authentic Buffalo Slugs. So they've staffed their team with that because it was cheaper than anything else. There.
No, the first team they play has Kat's ex-husband on it.
Yes.
Oh boy.
And they were Buffalo Slugs.
They couldn't find a babysitter that night. Sorry. You got to watch some hockey.
And
Kids
Adam
are sitting in the penalty bin. Dad goes in. Mom's blanked your team tonight. Shut the fuck up! This is why I didn't fight for visitation.
All right, Phil.
anyways, all things considered,
Are you not done yet, Bpoe? How are you not done? Your answer is like 10 minutes long.
Damn it!
I will watch the movie. Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
You
authentic.
watch the movie. Done. Yes.
You guys kept interrupting me.
You interrupted yourself.
There's a whole other side of the fence to go through here, Bpoe. Come on.
People, when you spend 15 minutes explaining a yes or
It is authentic. I would absolutely love to see the 4th and final installment of one of the best sports movies of all time. No matter what Shawn says, I don't care what you have to say. Mouth shut. Now what happens in this one? I'm writing my own script a little bit. So everyone's reunited. They find Goldberg somehow. Okay, I don't care about national. I had a great script idea for the movie now. It's gone.
Fucking
Yeah, I
Shawn.
feel, Phil. See how I feel.
I'm sabotaging this movie. From
Thank you, Shawn, for interrupting the podcast with a visual gag.
Of HJC
But
podcasting.
honestly, though, it would be a rated R movie because it's beer league. We all know what kind of shit goes down. So it'd be fantastic seeing them all come back together, play a little hockey for all time's sake, get a extra competitive because it's beer league and a little too much. So I would absolutely see this movie.
All right, what if it was X-rated?
So just
X-rated to have a sex scene. Okay, let's be honest. You can have one sex scene in an R.
But I want to see full penetration.
TC just wants to watch porn in a Mighty Ducks jersey. What are we gonna do?
For First of all, it's Charlie Conway. You get it right or you don't.
It's called the Flying V. You're not wearing any pants. I know.
Wait, no.
Her Flying V tonight.
Yeah, I'm putting my Flying D in your Flying V.
Hey,
this
right
stick has an illegal curve to it. Are you sure you're able to use it in our league? Oh,
It's beer league. No one cares.
Guys,
Anyway,
we're getting on.
now
it's an actual thing.
now that we've
there is
and
D2.
Ducks porn. Switch D2 the best of this.
Because he gives the D to her.
Holy crap, guys. Okay, this is the Anaheim Ducks don't care. They lost. Once they lost the Mighty in their name, that the whole porn.
You guys good there? Everyone got it out of their system?
We want to watch it. HJC rant exclusive to our video subscribers.
On the next episode of the Jersey Nerds podcast.
We just watch porn.
Tune in next week to find out if we got canceled yet.
iTunes cancels Jersey Nerds podcast due to 3 consecutive episodes of just watching porn on Bpoe's phone.
We're renaming the podcast to what? So today we're going to skip the mailbag because Bpoe answered his question right through it. We have no time left for the mailbag.
Well, come on, I'm sure we have time for one mailbag question.
We'll save them for next week. We're running.
Wait, why do you blame me whenever everybody's talking about this?
Because you don't even work here.
Okay, fair
You know, right?
They're not wrong about that.
All right. So on the website we have the Jersey Casual stuff that you can still get. HJC logo stickers for $2 Canadian, still on sale. Clearly not a popular item with the HJC readers, but those are on sale. Concept of the week vote going on soon, or maybe by the time you're listening to this, we are going to have the pairs competition going on, complete with the vote. So, and we'll catch you next time on the Jersey Nerds podcast.